Hi everyone, today I want to talk about my palette that I'm working on. So if you know, I've done a review of the portable painter palette, which has 12 half pans in there that I want to fill with colors. And so I have been thinking about which colors I should put in, because first of all, if I would have just picked my all-time favorite watercolors as they are, I wouldn't have great variety of mixing colors. So I'll show to you what I mean. So I've done it this way in Daniel Smith. So I basically wanted to buy, except for this gold, ignore that, that's a schminke. So I wanted to I first got a dot sheet and then I just swatched all of them, and then I picked out singular colors that I thought were beautiful. And I first started with my favorites, I think few, and then I realized I needed to get a yellow and some blue, some green, so I expanded it eventually to this. Now these colors are very beautiful and I love them. However, when it comes to mixing, I can't get too big of a mixing variety. There are a few colors that missing predominantly, as I later realized that the phthalo colors are actually very important, although I hate them by themselves. They're very important for mixing. So I still love this color palette, but I don't use it as often, and I think the reason is because I don't have colors that would mix a bigger kind of range of colors, if that makes sense. So this time I thought what I will do is, instead of picking just my favorite colors, I will pick those colors that are beautiful and I love them, however, that they would give me a wide range of mixing colors as well on top of that. So I decided I had to have a lemon yellow. Now I used here my schminke, but in fact I don't have a lemon yellow in a tube. I want all of these colors to be in a tube because I want to fill the pans. And so basically I decided, having thought about it and researched it a little bit, I decided I want the Daniel Smith lemon yellow because it's transparent and it's beautiful. So nothing wrong with schminke lemon yellow, it's just that I decided for those reasons. So next one is Indian Yellow by Daniel Smith. Again, I already have a tube of that, so I thought why not start using my tubes, my tube watercolors more often. And then I knew I wanted to have a third yellow, which would be a quinacridone gold. I had to have a quinacridone gold because it's one of my favorite colors. So along with sap greens and quinacridone red, quinacridone gold is a must-have for me. I love it as it is, and it's a super useful color when it comes to mixing. Now I had two options. I had two nice tubes. One is Daniel Smith and this one is the Core. Now the Core is a stunning color. It's super toasted and super vibrant. However, when I started mixing them, I realized that, so if you look at these greens were mixed using the quinacridone gold from Daniel Smith, and where are these ones? And these ones were used with the quinacridone gold by Core. Although as a single color I love it, and I do love the color separation it gives me, but because I want to be using this color palette for sort of more floral illustrations, I don't want this separation for that reason. But if I was doing something a bit more abstract or a little bit more illustrative, then that would be beautiful because I love the look of it. So I had to think first of all what exactly I want to use this palette for, and I quickly realized that I can't just have 12 colors that will fill all the needs. So if it would be urban sketching, I would need to have more neutrals, which I don't want to have in here because I want to do flowers. And if I'm going to have flower sketches, I won't be able to do something a little bit more abstract, because for abstract I love using super granulating and this type of colors which separate beautifully. If I could give you an advice of how to put together your favorite 12 color palette, then first of all ask yourself, what are you going to use these watercolors for? Ooh, I just almost had a heart attack because I was filming and the door opened and my son walked in. I guess the nap is not happening today. So Mason promised to be nice and quiet and behave well. Whew, okay, so where were we? So next color, I wanted to have a red, and there is a specific red which I really love, and I've got a video for my favorite red. If you want to see, it's the Scarlet Red, I believe it's called, or just Scarlet, by White Nights. Now, it's my favorite color, but it's not great when it comes to light fastness. But the tone is just amazing. It's a warm red, and that's a typical red that I absolutely love. I don't like the cool toned red. So here I just done a swatch just to sort of place the color on the palette. And to see the values it would give me roughly, but the color that I want to include, I think it would give more interesting mixes. So so here I'm actually going to wing it, and I'm going to, well, I have ordered quinacridone red light, I believe it's called. Yes, so quinacridone red light by Core. It's really expensive again. You know, I had to pay almost £15 for 11 mils tube, but what can you do? And I do hope that it is going to be as beautiful as it looks on the swatches. I ordered it from Jackson's Art, so the swatches look quite great for Core. I don't like the Winsor Newton swatches because they don't give me a realistic enough view of the watercolors, but the Core swatches I find are very true to life on most parts. So let's see how that goes, and hopefully it will be a great substitute, because I think the light fastness is better on that one as well, and it's supposed to be transparent, so great. So I wanted to have a couple of pinks, and I very quickly realized that they're way too much and there is no need for me to have such similar pinks here. So I decided to just include, actually, so this color right here is a Magella Permanent Rose, but so having thought about it, I actually will go for the Daniel Smith Quinacridone Pink, because I actually forgot about it, and having looked at it yesterday, I remembered how beautiful it is. It's right here, so this color. So if I hold it next to it, you can see it's more of a, let's say, a cooler, slightly cooler than the Mission Gold Permanent Rose. So I will use this one. And then the other pink I want to use is the actually Sennelier Helios Purple. That's a color that I really like, and I find it really transparent and super vibrant. So if I had to pick a favorite one color out of that Sennelier Botanical watercolor set, then I would pick this one. Next one, I thought to include the Core Cobalt Teal, because you know that I absolutely love this color. I love the teal in general, but the Core one gives really beautiful mixes. But again, having mixed it, I kind of realized it's not giving me the colors that I will be using very often. So these are the colors right here, and these, I think this one's, yeah. So I don't know, I was expecting something a little bit better, and also because it does the same, like the separation that we talked about over here, I thought I'm not going to go for that in this palette. Next color, I decided, well, I wanted to use Ultramarine, but I swatched the Cobalt Blue by Core, and it's a very similar actually color to Ultramarine, and I've heard actually quite a few people that are into watercolors say that they prefer cobalt blue to ultramarine, because ultramarine has that electric kind of glow to it, which is very unnatural. Which, yeah, I mean, it's a color that's known for it. But I personally, so the next few colors that I will mention, so the ultramarine and the phthalo green and phthalo blue, are the colors that I don't like by themselves, so to speak. I mean, this is more of a turquoise, which is okay, but the phthalic green, which is sort of like a viridian, and the ultramarine probably are my two least favorite colors. But they are great workhorses, and so they give you a great mixing value. So that's that. Then I wanted to include a couple more colors which were convenience colors. So the sub green is like the quinacridone gold that I mentioned before, is my favorite one. And in terms of greens, as it is, I just could use it with not needing to mix, but at the same time, if you do add a few yellows, you do get a beautiful color, which is over here. So these are mixed with the sub green and this one here. And so is a white nights, which I really like because it's not too bright. Sorry for the camera movement. I'm trying to hold on to it so it doesn't fall over as Mason trying to hang on it. So I have ordered a sub green, which again I'm winging because I have never seen it in real life, but what I've seen from swatches, I think it looks like a color I would like, and looking in the pigments, I think it's very similar, and it should be like a warm toned luscious green. It should be by Winsor & Newton. So let's see how that is. So basically I've ordered 3 colors. So I've mentioned the yellow by Daniel Smith, lemon yellow, then quinacridone red light by Core, and then Winsor & Newton permanent sub green. That's that. So I was quite happy at this point. So what else? Here I was considering whether I should use the Schminke, but again, if I already have a nice tube of Magella Viridian, I didn't see why I should order a tube from Schminke. And so along that, I also decided to use the Magella Peacock Blue. So these are the phthalo greens and the phthalo blue. I was thinking originally to just pick one color out of them, but then I quite quickly realized that actually I want both, because the blue is the one on the right, gives these beautiful darker greens, and the Viridian, the phthalo green, which is the Magella Viridian, is on the left, and it gives these juicy greens. So for that reason, I've decided I want those two. But like I said, them by itself I wouldn't really use very often as they come. I like this color, but there is no need for me to use it as it comes, because there aren't flowers of this color really. So here I've done some mixing for basically, let's have a quick look. So what have I done here? So this one is Magella Viridian, Magella Peacock Blue. Then we have Core Cobalt Teal and Core Cobalt Blue. And then at the bottom, it's the White Night Sub Green. So all of these greens are exactly the same. And actually, so are these. So here I've done the pinks the same with these colors that I just set, just to see what kind of violets I would be able to get, and sort of these sort of grayish bluish colors and greens as well. And these are obviously quite yucky with the sub green. Didn't come out very well because, well, it's for me, it's great to have these colors if you're into neutrals, but for me personally, I find them a little bit unappealing. Let's put it that way. So then there's one color here which I haven't mentioned. I thought to include Core Transparent Pyrrole Orange because it's a beautiful orange. It's one of my favorites, along with Schminke Transparent Orange, I believe it's called, which that one is my all-time favorite orange, but this one is a good second place, I'd say. It's very vibrant, really beautiful. However, once I started swatching, I quickly realized that I'm not getting any additional value. So here's with the pinks. Now this is compared to the Daniel Smith Quinacridone Gold and the Core Quinacridone Gold. So this is the one I kicked out, so I'm gonna use this one. And then if you compare the Quinacridone Gold from Daniel Smith with the Core Transparent Parallel Orange, I'm not really getting that big of a difference. So there was no need for me to include the orange. And then here is the orange with the greens. Again, not something I need for my palette, so that's that. I then kind of realized a few colors, so basically I got to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so I had 2 more spaces, and I realized I'm missing out on some colors. I then pulled out 3 more colors. So the Daniel Smith Green Gold, I wasn't sure whether I should include it or not, because first of all, it's one of my favorite greens as well. It's a gorgeous color on its own, but I didn't know how it would work in terms of mixing, because I already had sap green in my palette, which is a convenience green. So once I have swatched them with the Schmincke Lemon Yellow, Daniel Smith Indian Yellow and Daniel Smith Quinacridone Gold, I very quickly realized that these are luscious colors that I don't have on my palette right here that I really would like to add. Equally, I then also mixed this color with Magella Viridian, Magella Peacock Blue, with the sap green, and then also these 2 colors here, so at the top. So this is Daniel Smith Prussian Blue and Daniel Smith Indanthrene Blue. So I mixed them here just to see as well which colors I like, and it gave me a beautiful palette right here, which I thought, yes, that's definitely worth including. So just one color gives me a nice range of colors. I haven't tried them with pinks and reds. I don't know what I would get. And then I thought I need to include one more blue, because if you look at it, at the minute I'm having a cobalt blue, which is sort of ultramarine equivalent right here in the top corner. Thank you, Mason. Mason decided to give me a Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. Does Mommy need to refresh herself? Yeah. All right. Okay, so I've got this blue, then I have a... Okay, so what was I? My memory card got full, so I had to find another one. So in terms of blues, I have the Core Cobalt Blue, which is the equivalent of the Ultramarine, and then, so this is a cool toned kind of blue, and then I have the Magella Peacock Blue, which is a warm toned. I wanted to include one more blue to give me a wider range of green mixes, and I don't know why I decided to include, by the looks of it, it's going to be the Indanthrene Blue. I think because these colors are similar to what I was able to mix. I think, let's have a look. So this color, yeah, so this color is identical to this color here, which is a Winsor Newton with Quinacridone Gold. So I thought there is no need for that. This color is actually in between these 2 colors. So I could add a little bit more of the green gold to get to that, I guess. And let's see what else. This is... I'm not sure why I have picked that one, because the purples are quite pretty on this side. So I don't know. I felt like this color is giving me a range that I don't have before. So I don't know. I think I'm actually undecided about these 2. I will think about it. So that's pretty much almost my palette done. So I'm waiting now for all of those watercolors that I have picked. By the way, I was thinking of originally going for that Cadmium Red Deep. I was going to pick that one for my red. This is the color that was originally in Billy Shoal's original Winsor Newton color palette, but it's out of stock, and I just don't want to end up waiting for weeks and weeks or months for that color, and I want the palette to just be ready and just start using it. So that is the reason why I have gone for the red I told you. So that is it. My watercolors, 3 watercolors that I'm waiting for now should arrive hopefully this week or next week, and I will swatch them out for you, and also at that point I will decide which one of those 2 I will use. Actually, let me know in the comment box what do you think, which colors. I don't know why, but last night I felt like this row of the colors are more beautiful looking. However, looking at it now at daylight, I really prefer... Nope, careful, Mason. I really prefer this one. I feel like they're more beautiful, more vibrant. So, Mason is coming in. Oop, do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Okay, I have to wrap up because my lovely son has found a mascara, it seems, that Mummy hasn't used yet, and decided to smear it all over himself. So we need to go and change. So thank you so much for watching, and I will do the final palette swatch once I get those 3 colors. See you soon.